My mom drove her bus into a blizzard and then turned our house into a rescue camp. What did my mom do that became town legend? She drove a school bus in our small county for 15 years, and everyone called her Miss Debbie. She knew every kid's name and kept an emergency box with gloves, scarves, and snacks. One January morning when I was 13, it started snowing around 5 a.m., and by 6:30, it was a blizzard. The district still hadn't canceled, so my mom went out anyway. She crept from stop to stop, picking up kids who were half asleep and freezing. By the time she had 23 kids on the bus, the cancellation finally came through, but the roads were already turning into a mess. Cars were stuck, and you couldn't tell where the shoulder ended. Protocol said to bring kids home, but my mom knew most parents had already left for work and wouldn't be there to open the door. She tried to radio dispatch. Nothing. She tried again. Still nothing. Just static and other drivers talking over each other. The kids started panicking. The bus rocked when the wind hit it. The heater was on, but everyone still felt cold. A first grader near the front was crying and asking if we were going to slide into a ditch. My mom kept her voice steady and said, "Everybody breathe. I've got you." Our house was on her route, so she made a call in her head and turned toward home right then, without hesitating. From our kitchen window, I saw the yellow bus appear and disappear in the blowing snow, crawling up our lane like it was fighting the storm. When it stopped, the door hissed open and kids stepped down into knee-deep snow, holding onto each other's coats so nobody fell. My mom wrapped the smallest kids in extra scarves, then marched them to our porch one by one. My sisters and I grabbed towels and started drying hands and cheeks. The living room filled with backpacks, wet boots, and shaky voices. One little boy kept repeating his home address like he thought he'd need it. Another kid's lips were turning pale, and my mom scooted him closest to the heater. Then my mom started calling parents, one after another. "Your kid is safe at my house," she kept saying. "The roads aren't safe. Don't rush. I'll keep them warm and fed until you can get here." While she talked, she also worked. She lined kids up for the bathroom, she handed out cocoa, she made the older kids help the younger ones find dry socks. That's when the superintendent finally called her back. I could hear him through the phone, loud enough to cut through the room and freeze everyone. "Deborah, policy says you deliver students to school or to their homes only. Drive those children to school immediately." My mom stared at the storm and said, "Sir, I'm responsible for these kids' safety, not your attendance records. I'm not moving this bus again until it's safe." He threatened to fire her on the spot. My mom didn't argue or beg. She just said, "You do what you need to do, and I'll do the same," and hung up. For the next few hours, our house became a snow day camp. My mom made quick rules. Boots by the door, no running. If you're scared, tell me. She sat kids at the table and had them do homework so they'd stop spiraling. Every few minutes, she checked her phone and stared out the window like she was measuring the storm. Around noon, she cooked a giant pot of spaghetti, and when one kid said he couldn't eat it because of allergies, she made him a simple, separate plate without making a big deal. Later, she dumped crayons, paper, and glue on the floor and said, "Art contest," and suddenly, everyone had something to focus on. What hit me most was how she checked on kids one by one. She helped a tearful first grader write a note to his mom. She braided a girl's hair while the girl whispered about friend drama. She noticed who was hungry, who was too quiet, and who needed to sit near her for a minute. By around 3 p.m., the plows finally cleared the main road, and we started hearing car doors outside. Parents showed up covered in snow, and the second they saw their kids, they fell apart. Adults were crying in our entryway. More than one mom hugged my mom so hard, I thought she'd topple over. The next morning, the superintendent left a voicemail demanding my mom come to his office immediately. My stomach dropped because I thought she was about to get punished for keeping those kids safe. When we got to the administration building, the hallway was lined with parents from her route, shoulder to shoulder, waiting. My mom walked past them and went in alone, the door shut. 15 minutes later, it opened again. A staff member handed my mom a paper with a new emergency rule. Drivers could use their judgment in bad weather. My mom looked down at it, then looked at the parents, and finally let out a breath. "I'm still driving the bus," she said, and the whole hallway started clapping.